papa panyimu a watifia duru sei a wote hono ma wo bobra e wo man ma wo so do man wo yare no ukọ America ne kwasa ho yade nso Ghana mo se doctors ma ye doctors ahodo mo de hospitals ma boa build Ghana ye ba wo yare na wo fa play America na wakọhwe ho yade na oba betro na sabi wo san kanti bunu ne sabi semfu esan de kire man Ghana for ma Tiase na papa ne kan ne bio for party sem to nchen so ye NPP ni wo da mamensa mo na se tie bia de o kan wan tie ni e bia se mo kan wan tie ni tie na tie ni tie
maka wa ha
tie
and I want to repeat it enyen crofo de but facts are sacred.
Good.
So MPP mo.
Good.
Now, sebi you. Why join chia? Now ko NDC. O NDC we now.
Asema papa we ken. Atemdi de ben na chance asema papa we woka. Party panyina wo fia asema simpo anase mama mo poni amubu a emma man hu ni pa kire no. Amanfo kwa apinisie mu no momfa nyansa ntu nyansa so enka nyansa sam enka asema betitiri nipa wire na nipa kura humu ba koto abade ma no hwe sebe papa panyimu a watifia duru sei a wo beto no maso Kofi Dwuma wo to na sebe panyimu a wanum kasa tantantan a wo ka de kire o mangana eyo de ma wo Bible say enye de wanyini pini nim nyansa ene maje sa ade na di Bible say enye de wanyini pini nim nyansa no ene maji asebe na di empanimfo kasa bo bi ase panyin wo fia eye na nso banya panyin bi o kasa bumbum se na makura ase gogi party bo rugosim no ene panyin ni fie kura nkamfa so kura de e wo so amambo na ekosoro ne ma na ekosoro ne ma bone a emwo man na ma man kwa apinisie yuturu ho kire wo bi edwane firi o man ma ye kan wasam no enye na wo ba beka Allah na Allah ne Ghana fo na do no odi o ma betena wo na wudi o matem oba ye kire de na ado aye de ntie wo se ye to obade mana wo de abetuna ka se wo ye NPP nim na wo adwene chia that means wo ye na wo jimi a na wo ye jimfu a na wo free NPP mu ko NDC na asem we sabi producer ye wo NPDC fo bu wonu so a na mo dwen se na ado ye ni popo to mo koto obade ma wo mo di sabi producer wo ye nyansani na wo susu wo be kire nkwasiafo nyansa no na wo sabi wo betena ba bi na wo kan sabi nkwasiafo ma chen de nkwasiafo krombo kan ye no ye de tunsani so a hwan de nyansafo na hwan na ejimifo hwe won ampanimfo da bia asem ya na da bia na ye kan o ye sika sadu jasidu wo banya akonya na so ye pani na wo kasa no how wo be fa so be kasa because wo kasa che nipa nyammoa and the same ammoa no a wo ni nkwasiafo na wudi o matam sa nkrofo na pa so mo to obade ma opati na opati ne de ewe ni ndi Ghana fo ma so Kofi Dwuma na numa asem ne kasa wa kan no e asem se be de ma me no mienu wo yare nansen America na etamo de wo koye o me kan chem se tro na midi nso mu di doctors papa de doctors ne ma be gu Ghana e wo se ye say ho yade na de hwe ho wo yare ya poa ya ma so to America na me blame because they say baby anemu aduru no aye stomach direction kwa na obi ade nam wo obetuma be kan kwase asema na so betuma kan semfu e de didi opponent atem na Ghana no wo na mpanifo fra mo ska bo abaso because you are the good politician papa panyimu a woti studio a wo kasa wanimu nyina bubu agutu ti say sititwene hwe asema papa panyimu to ma wo kai fuo mu a wo ba wo ka kire Ghana fo ma o man mu mpanimfo a mogije taxpayers money ye di sika ye di o man sika ahye mo nsa mo na mudi o man ni kwaje bosia de bre o man mo na mo hwa mo man nkanko ayeye o man be ko ye nko ye gina mo so na nema nko ye na youth ni su anase youth ni kan wasema wo betnya akwanya na betena ase a wo bedidi ala ne Ghana for say wa adwene chia na wo ye gimfu a na akoto obade ma NDC na wo ye NDC na so woni tie na ba NPP panyin siutia so woni magu ase kotrans so wo yida de wo kan fo ma yida na yida munti na yida ntufu so ba tanya ayamhihie oni mu no na tie de yida no wo busuafo be kan de akiro so office of trans the most loose stock of the year ye de ma wo chabi maso Kofi Dwuma first ne mo bi bu pa ba ne enim se adwen we ne da otiri mu nyina mo dwen mo yefu na mu nyina mo dwen ho da bia na because mo say most of Ghana ye journalists and media personnel ye di o mo chi no bebre ama ya time krofo binim wa abra no mo nyemfo so Ghana especially Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Mom ya 10 Dr. Kwame Nkrumah painting Nkrumah black. Ya nyini ye hu akenkan hu Tiase nya hurumu kakra no. Ne the same Nkrumah na it was an agenda na mo soroti Dr. Kwame Nkrumah na onye boni bia. Amotuma twetwe mu the big 6 ni the big 12 ni the big 3 ni nasifo nyina. The big 6 where do they form that the big 6? Sa num na mo kan Kwame Nkrumah no where and when no mo Nkrumah kan bo me together mo fight Ghana independent. They were all against Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So what you say? We perokuya interest no self-aggrandizement ni de mu be dinti. Monya sika donya sika mankrofo 3 square meals a day. Minim say make say obi ti Ghana odumi afford or sre wo ade ba chikopo na yere ne meko because of the ombe dinti. When you be a dinner be fruit play by America be hwe ya de nti no. O man ni mo nipa na oto no be to abasa na wo se ntwo mandapa. Nyame hu mobo, nyame tusia kapa wate. Nyankopon hu no wabusu nyina mobo. Nyankopon be tusia mu nyina ka mako. Wate? Papa panyimu a wote studio wo kasa boom 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 boom. Wo therapy na wo ye kan what so yemfa align kono. I think that you are the best person yes to take you to therapy because as somebody now can wo amfa mfruit wo free wo yem na ye yoro maso go duma wo kasa from wo yem enye wo adwem na kasa because say free adwem ma panyimu kasa badwem sa. Da bia na me kasa mo say de ala na ye de amamu NPP for de ewura kan je pon ye de amamu NPP for the NPP for nipa bebre even Reverend Osube Mpade papa we sacrificing in life the ma NPP for and mu de papa ni Tiase fom na mo de na ahwe soro mu bonus ni yenyam na mukuku ai ni mu kataki afrifa wakọ forgere obi voice am de abeto abonten is alleged makọ forgere abeto abonten se mo pese mo che papa ndi tun because papa na ma prophecy ura mahama ba we ni nti me da bia me kam se me Ghana fo betie mi masema ka NPP ni NDC yemfa obi anto nche ne yemfa another political party na it could be Akua I don't care, it could be Chado I don't care, it could be whoever me I don't care, but NPP NDC or say do mo to nche ne form another political party na fi leading you because ye nyani papa ba di party ni ma ti say ura kan je pon nipa bi no aka we will support them. But Ghana, your political trends, no, I had a frahwe anane na agutu MPP ni NDC. Ya be complain MPP nye eduro hoso be kwa koto amomo, ya be complain be complain NDC nye ebedo be kwa koto abaro so asan dia mo. Abusua asem na awire ho na ase film na eyanim guase maso Kofi Dwuma papa panyimu a tese obi otifi aduru na wo betena se kasa kire youth o manfo mu na wo betena be kasa ansem hunu we kire o ma. Papa, I'm sorry, my do ya pa. Ya de kura so my do kwa joni kwasi nyina. Cause na hospital aiwa. Nyame hu mobo no mfa wo bone nchew. Wati? Nyankopon wo hu ni wabusua mobo. Bia wo adwen a wo de dwen free cars no. Onyankopon emma wo nyansa ni nimdie. Na sa wo betena bonte wo hu de wo be kasa fo nipa ho.
My attention has been drawn to a press conference addressed on behalf of the Association of Judges and Magistrates, where some very serious allegations were made. These allegations border on the integrity of the legislative arm of government and cast a slur on the collective image of the Parliament of Ghana. On the 8th of October 2024, I, Sam George, led a coalition of groups made up of clergy, traditional authorities, and CSOs on a family values march aimed at demanding the judiciary, and in particular, the Chief Justice of Ghana, to fulfill the promise of an early trial she made in court on the 17th of July 2024. The march was extremely peaceful and adhered to all previously agreed agreements with the Ghana Police Service. The march culminated at the precincts of the Supreme Court. The agreement with the Ghana Police Service was for the leadership to present our petition in front of the statue of martyrs inside the premises of the Supreme Court. However, on the day, the Judicial Service delegation met with us at the main gate of the Supreme Court. We did not protest this change in plan. We complied in the interest of public peace. The Judicial Service delegation was led by a magistrate of the courts, the Registrar of the Supreme Court, the Director of Communications and his deputy, and the Chief Security Officer of the Judicial Service. Our encounter with them was cordial and respectful. The allegations of attempting to visit mayhem on the Supreme Court of Ghana made by a judge of the Supreme Court are very grave and need to be investigated. In that press encounter, several untruths were unfortunately peddled about the Family's Values March by the said judge of the Supreme Court, and it is imperative that the facts are established without any doubt for the benefit of the public. As such, I will be invoking the jurisdiction of the Privileges Committee of Parliament to summon the gentleman who is the judge of the Supreme Court to the Privileges Committee of Parliament. He addressed the said press conference, and he needs to substantiate a number of untruthful claims he made in his press conference. The image of the Parliament of Ghana must be respected by all persons, and especially by those who are in a privileged position and ought to know better, and must be held to higher standards of accountability. At this juncture, let me reiterate that at no point in our petition to the Chief Justice did we demand, request, or even remotely suggest that the Chief Justice should rule in favor of the sponsors of the bill. We have simply asked for the Chief Justice to provide us a timetable for the early trial she promised. Our petition is premised on the actions of the Chief Justice in 2 cases this year, where the court swiftly issued hearing notices within hours of injunction applications being filed, and heard the cases even without a statement of defense from the respondent, the Attorney General in particular. In the Roxindafia Mekpo versus Attorney General case, the Attorney General did not even file a response, but the Chief Justice heard the injunction application and dismissed the injunction application within 24 hours. Again, in the Bernard Ahia 4 and 2 others versus the Minister for Finance and 3 others case, the injunction application to hold certain tax waivers by government pending determination of the main case was filed on Friday afternoon, 26th of July 2024. By the following Monday, the court had issued hearing notices, heard the case, and dismissed the application the next day. This was in spite of the court's own rule attached to the process by the registrar, stating that, and I quote, "A date will be fixed for hearing of the above stated application with hearing notices to the parties by the registrar upon request 20 days after service of the application on the respondents or interested parties," end of quote. In fact, lawyers for the plaintiffs in that case were compelled to argue their case on the same day. This raises fundamental questions of what the real intent is in the current cases regarding LGBTQ and the lethargy we are witnessing from the Chief Justice and her courts. Again, let me state for the records that it is a complete untruth and palpable falsehoods peddled by a Justice of the Supreme Court who addressed the media for anyone to claim that the injunction cases before the Supreme Court is not ripe for judgment. All pleadings and arguments have been made before the Supreme Court, and the Chief Justice scheduled 17th of July 2024 for her ruling. How will the CJ have scheduled a date for ruling if the cases were not ripe? Persons who ought to know better should not be engaged in peddling of factual untruths which are easily verifiable. Our judiciary must always remain above reproach. As sponsors and as members of the coalition who embarked on the Family Values March, our position remains unshaken. The Supreme Court panel, hearing the Richard Delaskai and Amanda Odoi cases, led by the Chief Justice, must be minded of the ruling of the Supreme Court in the Dr. Prince Obri Crying versus Attorney General case, delivered on 24th July 2024. Their lordships, Bafoboni JSE presiding, Lovelace Johnson Mrs. JSE, Amadou JSE, Kulendi JSE, Jehu JSE, Dako Asari JSE, and Ajay Frimpong JSE were emphatic on the position of our law and constitution on homosexuality in their 59-page ruling. Let me quote their conclusion in that ruling. I quote, "In conclusion, I wish to reiterate, in respect of the issue that was set down for determination in this suit, that Section 104(1) of Act 29, which criminalizes non-natural carnal knowledge, does not contravene the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. The plaintiff's conception of private morality as a ground to limit or expand the constitutional rights to privacy lacks sufficient context in the nation's constitutional architecture. Indeed, it is fundamentally poles apart from Ghanaian family values. Our constitutional provisions derive their purpose and values from our traditions, customs, and culture. Consequently, the plaintiff's action fails in its entirety. End of quote. And this is the conclusion of the 59-page judgment from the same Supreme Court of Ghana. We insist that the court, led by the Chief Justice as head of the Judiciary, can, and in similar manner, which it swiftly dealt with the applications referred to, control these cases so such important law with overwhelming approval by Ghanaians is assented to by the President. Once again, let me reiterate my decision to invoke the Privileges Committee, the jurisdiction of the Privileges Committee of Parliament, and bring before the committee the judge of the Supreme Court to substantiate his allegations that I led a group to cause mayhem at the Supreme Court. Persons who ought to know better need to act better and will be held to higher standards of accountability. At this juncture, I will play a video that shows my encounter with the Judicial Service. I'll be serving you the raw copy of that video as well to establish for you that the claims made by the judge of the Supreme Court, who also doubles as the president of the Association of Judges and Magistrates, were nothing but calculated lies and falsehoods aimed at tarnishing my reputation, the reputation of members of the clergy, and by extension, the reputation of the Parliament of Ghana. We will defend our reputation with our last blood. Thank you. Your statement, the Supreme Court made reference to having, and I quote, an early trial, assuring us that they will work expeditiously to hear and rule on these matters in a timely manner. Unfortunately, over 10 weeks later, there is no indication of any schedule or actions to execute an early trial that will protect our rights as citizens to timely and efficient justice delivery in this instance. Without speedy scheduling of the hearings, further time will be lost, potentially preventing the conclusion of the bill this year, and further risking 3 years of time and resource investments in this draft bill, and precipitating the need for more time and investments in this bill is to see the light of day. This will result in significant financial cost to all stakeholders, including the citizen and state. Overall, such an outcome will undermine the legitimate hopes and aspirations of over 90% of Ghanaians. A judge of the Supreme Court would make allegations, and I will share that video as well with you, that I led a mob to visit mayhem on the Supreme Court and hurl insults on the person of the Chief Justice. It's unacceptable. You have heard the tape. I will rest here. The rest will continue before the Privileges Committee of Parliament. Thank you. There's established precedents in this House that what you need is quorum for a committee to meet. If the committee has quorum, whether the chair of the committee is present or not, members present can appoint a member to preside. And once the committee has quorum, it will be a properly constituted committee of the House. They will proceed and do their job. I will be sending my petition to them at the beginning of next week, and I will be demanding an expeditious invitation and hearing of the Privileges Committee. If the MPP caucus, which is currently the minority caucus, choose to boycott that sitting, it will be up to them. But I will pursue the protection of my integrity and my image, and by extension, the integrity and image of Parliament. Because when the judge kept making the allegations, he kept saying a member of Parliament. He should come and substantiate which member of Parliament. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
This is unbecoming of any member of parliament, and we would want for him to establish who that member of parliament is, establish the visiting of mayhem, and then ask for the privileges committee of parliament to ask parliament to sanction that MP, because that MP's actions have brought parliament into public opprobrium and reduced the standing of parliament in the eye of the public. But if that is not the case, then it will be up to the privileges committee to determine what to do to whoever it is appearing before the privileges committee who has made such allegations. So this is not a matter of constitutional interpretation. This is not a matter of any contest. We've seen the judiciary, which is one arm of government, issue contempt hearings against members of the executive. The director of BNI, the IGP are all members of the executive. They're officers of the executive arm of government. And we've seen several times contempt cases being filed against them, or even arrest warrants being filed against the director of BNI or NIB as it is called. It's within their rights. The courts have their rights to exercise their function, and so also does Parliament. There is no exemption to who the Parliament of Ghana can summon before its privileges. There are no exemptions given. And so once no exemptions are given, no exemptions will be expected. Just a judge of the Supreme Court, which in itself is a very noble position that we expect people of high moral standing to occupy. That's what the Constitution says. And then he doubles as the president of the Association of Judges and Magistrates. He speaks barely 24 hours after I have led a march to the Supreme Court. He claims that I have brought a mob to visit mayhem. He claims that I have made demands of the Supreme Court, demands that are not included in my petition. You've listened to the tape. Demands, claims that I'm asking for rulings to be made in my favor. Claims that I have held insults at the person of the Chief Justice. You heard the tape. I don't sit here. If it was just me and Sam George, that's fine. If he had just said, oh, Sam George, but he said a member of Parliament. The people of Ningo Pram Pram who elected me need to be sure that their member of Parliament is not acting in a way that reduces Parliament. And so I think that this affects the whole image of Parliament. It will be up to Parliament to say that, oh, it's fine for judges to peddle untruths about Parliament and Parliament will not care. But then that will be setting a precedent. Tomorrow, we've had people invited before the Privileges Committee for saying that some MPs smoke weed. He didn't mention any one person, but he was asked to come and substantiate which MPs he was referring to. Because we thought that that was a blanket statement about all members of Parliament. So if someone says a member of Parliament, you should come and establish which member of Parliament. I think that's within our rights to establish that.
Mema Kwaba Edoba we are for Ken TV. Edison, New Jersey. One of the biggest shop your friend Bigis Ija Edem. Na Nika Achremo how responsive Edison police. Fire your faso edi dunja. Ushe fire machine noa. Yes. Enona yen wedi mian kasa feed gadochi. Manini tuyem no. Yes, ushe obia ya juma. Police ambulance ya twa nyina hia, police ya twa nyina hia. Na me se fekeke wo de wan kasa hwe o. Wan kasa hwe. Koso bie work 24/7. Na yemfa compare you krum Ghana. Say ye comparison ya na obi se Frank adan na wo ye comparison. Hwe nipa mienu etesoro. E na hwede we machine no AC ko. And enya hankwa na fire service machine we ewo. There are omo twadan no nyina hia. E na obia ekwaku just look at it. Is it not amazing? Is it not amazing? Well, we say yeah, Frank, my young compare America to Ghana. Meaning compare young politicians yana or more air compare Ghana to America. Say Ghana brano. Your 2 point your near my in America. Say my America Hana say no so my baby woman near my air was one. Argentina. Yes, my mean compare. Me dia metimi baby and our politicians chama won to me maybe sawa kunsen Omo ka se Ghana kura no ye di yes in Canada, Germany, US, UK, and the Canada. Na what they are repaya, ye pasu adunja. Na ye repaya, yes, one of the ambulances and also so about set the country level. One of the ambulances so Abba, we do not chill home, almost from a mobile left up with Dunja. Yes, now you could meet the bender. I don't know, I mean, this I said. Enti politicians no se omoba America ha enya kukuduro ebesra omo sika se omo de kwa akoye mpuntu na omo airborne de fire service aye enti sa car we fire service car we nti aya omo nhu bia na omo tumi koto aje mawu fire service car wo omo yi akede o omo yi akede Allah enti politicians se mo to fire service car nti sa fire service car we nti aya mo nhu bia na Ghana for women cannot grow. I do agree, sir, with the history of Kwanya and Rofono Faso, ebe slave trade, yeah, ebe colonizing, yeah, imperialism, yo colonialism, Omoria Yahudi, Omokayan problems, no fine. Now, a day so I did the abbey. Yeah, Papa ambulance machine. The Brody the crown and the umpire asama. The Ghana politicians, and your moon, Papa, no moon body. No more Papa to a game of wool. Will be dying ash. Ambulance service, Ghana ambulance service bedroom. Not in Sokurani. That's the same for the Aban possess. A fire service for Nankasa. Or Mankasa, your money per Ghana echo. No car, no water. Not original or not or more. The air tower being put us of Asia. No police. Yes. But just look at the surroundings. Security all over. Police. Messi police car waha. Se meti me anka mesi a bedroom more than 20. Police cars here waha. A bedroom more than 20. Among what the other side, yes. Make us across about Kwaba. Messi, there are more than 20. And look at the police cars. Well, among what sophisticated machine to control every activity air cost within the country. This is what we want. This is what we are talking about. Yes. See, development. We have what we call comparative. Say yempona yenima. Politicians say tutu akwai. Ghana for tutu akwai akwa manone. Tutu akwai akwamya mya bebre. Enti di omo ye no wo nkuro so no. Adan na yensua bi emma me. And this I will always say. Tete kwashi etu kwan ko Fernando ko ena ohu koko ena ode baaye ena enne koko abeya mfaso ama o my Ghana enti me no mienu a ye bi ato aso no de na ye tu kwan koko hunu ye we another ye beka na say host eno na nsuo no so be fam a am say ode kwa support wo on the top there ode kwa support wo on the top there yes na me to aso enti Fernando po Yakofa koko no ba ya ene koko abeye the backbone of Ghana no yenso so nkyerema ye bi ato aso no yetutu akwan bebre enti akwan tutu a yetu no de ben na yenso so ye ato aso nbo enti yenso so yetu akwan no de ben na yenya yenso so ye de beka de ayitete kwahye ye no nimdia ye wona se yande yetu kwan no yakofa akronfo yakofa criminals yakofa prisoners se wo message kuku tete kwahye de baaye na oma ye revenue ya rewo na ye ka obi se ma ye nka me se meka kana wu wo ka wo be wu wan ka wo be wu meka wu na me so kura me nyawu o ka mo fa so tunja no bahu we kura po abe anya nsuo ana ye nsuo oh okay just look at it. Is it not amazing? Very fantastic. You can development, you can technology, you can be now be to Ghana ho and I Ghana service and I seek fire service for dying and I talk as a fire service. Car ben alcotoya. Car ben alcotoma Ghana fire service. A jashia, a jatoba beer, in so pony fire service for come. And fire service cars here around the Hano. It will be more than 10 fire service, but because of say I get dangerous you know men person go around I have to stay at one place at the bear then so many head so you can see on the ground well in so ni bi kura na free from hobano You can see it's a shop. Trollers no, we've been a CC one. I have one of the biggest shop ever Edison. Yeah. I be also friends say BJ's, yes. In Ghana for more Edison, New Jersey, and I'm more America Biano. In himself, you know that shop, BJ's, yeah, one of the biggest shop. And I got to one. Simple. Yes. Just look at it. Just look at it. Yes. Come within a tongue of an eye. Just look at it. Yes. David. Yeah, Gano. The way your croma can say, yes, so Gallon. You can pure water here to do. Yes. Just look at it. Your croma can say, yes, some futuro. Yes, some futuro, yes, so good. Who can I say my yanka? One Ghana police and apart from Ghana police, you know, ambulance, health workers, or Munina, about the Ghana do very simple. The Ghana do police with different types of security, different types. When you have proper yes. Wow. Masa. Ya do jare se say proba. E ka haida ba shi say wura be. Ah, masa. My God. Yes. What do that very simple. Amazing. Yakachi. Hey. Okay. Yanko okay. Abusan for na ye twa bi akyere mo amama hunu sade and yema ekoso wo America. Oman a atumpo. And fire service team no enya ba akopeo. Cars no bebre. Yeah, e bi na to so wo no. Yeah, na duma. Yes, yeah, na duma. And Hakran can but look at where the police are stationed. Another police van this one. Block kwan no. Eja kurasi abi Ghana police kura anko. Ghana police akwere. Wow. Yes. Wow. Enti frankly speaking, now we just want you to know said the a system no a work. But all can be say my yenka. Na yenka day. Yaba be hu ade pa na yenka. Ebi we kuruma nka yempe. Nke be bo abaha. Yebe ka no kure no. Politicians ya mo Ghana krono na aka mo. Gise yanyini na yense ya de e na aka mo. Mo nwi na oman ma ho. E na mama ahiafo ma ebre. E na ahiafo ma nso so yeso so yanwene dwene ye ho. Yanwene ye ho. Wa ho. E na yenso so krono na aka ye. E na yeso so akronfo so. E ha kura nsuo no kram se ebi da so ba ha. Ebi da so ba ha. Yes. Enti ayi ye ko studio akwa ye program. Ane masra so unya subscribe to we for Ken TV. Subscribe my na share link. Hwe kwan papa. Me say America ha de ba bia o. Ye awrade kuro ni. Ya hehye kuro no kama. Ye kan mo se mayenka. Ade fe ye be kan. Wow. Look at it. Just look at the environment. Just look at it. Just look at the environment alone. Enti bia ya wo hwe enye ofe. Hwe enua o. Enua na ye dua no wo ha. Me ka me friend madam for back video call. And I say, "Hey, na abrochire na enua wo ho sa no." Na am say hwe. O se ono no nim say abrochire mpodi enua ni ha. Ane. Na am say hwe. Editi na ye de aye galamsi aye tugu no.
Ya pese ya dan na abrochire.
Ane hwe mesi abrochire wa hu no. Enua omo dan inside the kra mpo na be. Enua ho. And so that is to tell you say enua ho hia. Enua eho hia. Vegetation me say mekoso abo ho dawuro mekoso aka. Kra brochire edan ya sisi hai. Edan papa nko an esisi ha o. but enso so no ye duadua nua throughout Ghana de ye nyampanfo
ambulance
yes aha nyina ambulance police ehana jano area hana jano to ye no ambulance police omu nyina agade her throughout yes shop no nie
Kofi no dum jano
you dum jano within the twinkle of an eye mu shop no yes shop no what I'm say we are not so BJ's shop no we are not so nti wa hu amfa ncheme but omu dum jano very simple nka Ghana awurade nyame okay be wahu ambulance we cry we ambulance
etwa ho ahia be buru 20
ambulance etwa ha ahia be buru 20 ebi na sisi bebre
ebi aye spare
enya Ghana ambulance ni bi de na nana do de be da ye no enya bia enya Ghana ambulance just look at their road hwe kwan 24/7 bibia ye adwuma kwan papa so ne nam omoye kwan ya na me bi so say na ntide be mpa na America for de ye omo kwan ye Ghana ye de ye kwan ya obitimi de nsakura sesa ayiko ta na ya ye ro ye kwan acha 2-3 months na kwan no tutu aden timpani fo mo ba mo be hu kwan papa say de na ye mo just 10% mo je 10% president budget 10%, minister budget 10%, one guru boys also budget 10%, baby na sikanasa na ayana troka wahu BJ's ena wo no yes ya dum jano very simple very simple ke Ghana kasenka she say wahu hanyina police police ambulance throughout. Wow. And your fe. Police, ambulance. Yeah, come was in my yank. Until near my way in a cause what you're breaching her winning. What's in my yank? I have BJ's and ye shop on Nain in a woman, posted in a bohon. Well, yeah, come was in my yank. What you're breaching her, you are living a comfortable life. Be so say, the away enjoying who are breaching her no. And you be na Ghana for enjoy na. Me buy the me enjoy no abrochiri ha no nya no bi na me enjoy no Ghana o enti esese meka yenyina ye nipa abi before Ghana for ye very intelligent and very smart Ghana for eco school America ha no they are even performing better than the whites adentia na ye de ati yukroma ntimi performing better than the whites na brebia I say yes so in faso. Adentia. We must speak the truth. Mokosuku papa, momu bibi papa. You are enjoying. Kenya abrochira abi nka about 90% of Ghanaians you want make it in life no. Come to me make it.
Exactly.
Yes. Nya abrochira, we should speak the truth. Do e bia watena abrochiri afono and enye nipa nyina na kwatena abrochiri a e bia asi won ye die but about 90% of Ghana for omo tukwan akwa amanone no se nye amanone pa komu ntimi ni enti yenka nokore on koti Ghana ho sa na brabo aye basa obi a started ti Ghana ho na brabo aye basa enne wote abrochiri ha na wanya koya ba abrochiri bia no within the twinkle of an eye na brabo asesa Senya politicians krono a nko bia ni ho a wo Ghana ho a oye adwuma o se onye sika se na obi a waba aburuchire nka wo politician wo yonko no wo politician wo sika wo de 1 month benya no because ye tu aka sen 8,000 9,000 ono no ti aburuchire ha betimi de be one day kura anya sa sika no obi ti aburuchire ha betimi de just 1 hour anya sa sika no wo yonko no but mama yen kasa krono nti me say ye beka no kura no kwapem se politicians akromfo no mo begyae se mo nyae krono no yeso ye nyae kasa Ghana no ye nyina ye de ye begye asi ho hweburo ni kurum wa kasa wo hwenya ofe kwan papa nko a ese season no e ba besesa na be afi me ba America na matinya nkopon ase season e wa America ha no Sister season ni bi na edema yen Ghana for abi nke nyina yawu koju to o nka yawu abi nke yawu koju to
say bi anka e be used to ene enso
abi nke yebewu nke du ha nke be ye ayi natural ayi elimination yana na ye kwan ya Nyankopon fa so de tie so because the season ya ye ba be komi ayi winter yes akwan e ba benya problem omo electricity omo bibia ene sesem nam kruma metimi se engineers ene nam kwan so ye kwan e ba electricity cables omo bibia omo sesa no just to meet a season no e ba no and omo 4 seasons and every season bia one challenge inti se we ye ade we ya the next season a wo kwakọ wura mu no another challenge beba inti gisa wo ye na Ghana ya ade na asa kura yekum nipa no ye de wo ye den ye hwa akra enso start ya ehiri fa akra ye ne bosu okura gu na yiri afaye hwan emfuturo timije na tie timije kwan na tie je kwan a agese bi ya Ghana fo boys yi na omo afa shavo abeginam atete na tie agege sika kakrakra aban de wo ye den minister de wo ye den MP de wo ye den agese abatu aduru na ne atro ne na da asem ne nkontum pusem na aka ho de ka amse mayenka wa kasa hwe kwan a wo de ka no kure ambulance na kura abuso still I be ko ambulance ya buso ambulance egu ho more than 20 fire cars egu ho more than 20 police cars egu ho more than 20 other security agencies more than the wo and within seconds you doom jano we na yepe Ghana yemisa se jaben pa na to Ghana wa yetumi adum no je se ehwe wrebe na no nya na no na yese lady way obai Jackie nifi Jackie apia nifi ehwe o motumi dum no anshi grebe ehwe grebe the last time the video bi amehwe me say mehwe video no kra me say nya no kre isli gon ho ba bi nipa ne dan ehwe nipa no ne dan ehwe fire service omo afro fire service ababe na omo ba mo mfa ka akora ma eno na akwa do bufu ya nka obo fire service for do
obo ne sana say ya no for abade obi anko obana na wo de wona anti abano ne sino odi bedum ya no
na be ka ni wa wo ba be ye dey yes
ya won say bibie ne ho wonti ba ho only ordinary people ya wa yepe you dey
me see nka akwa no obo no na uhwe ni fia ehwe wa frame fire service mo mfa ka ma Ghana concert and you get some people defending.
Oh yeah,
yes, you get some people defending. Eti abusuya de ba memfa munsi ha but mama ye nyina ye nsum na ye mwa Ghana na Ghana ye mfa entuma pa infra